Hey everyone, welcome back to BikeBeat, and today we're taking a deep dive into one of the most exciting midweight adventure bikes of the year, the 2025 BMW F 900 GS. If you're looking for something that blends real off-road ability with everyday practicality and BMW refinement, this is going to be worth your time. The F 900 GS sits right in the sweet spot of BMW's lineup, between the lighter entry-level adventure machines and the heavyweight 1250 and 1300 GS models. It's the evolution of the middleweight GS concept, lighter, more powerful, and packed with updated tech and sharper design. BMW has clearly taken lessons from both its smaller and bigger siblings to build something that's more dynamic and rider-focused. Let's talk numbers first. Powering the 2025 F 900 GS is an 895 cubic centimeters parallel twin engine that produces 105 horsepower at 8,500 revolutions per minute and about 93 newton meters of torque at 6,750 revolutions per minute. This engine isn't just about peak figures, it's been tuned for strong, linear power delivery across the rev range, so you get usable torque whether you're overtaking on the highway or climbing through rocky trails. It's the same basic engine platform used in the F 900 RNXR, but retuned with adventure riding in mind: smoother low-end throttle response, stronger mid-range, and better cooling for demanding conditions. One of the biggest improvements over the outgoing model is weight reduction. BMW claims a curb weight around 219 kilograms, making it noticeably lighter than before. This is a big deal for adventure riders who need agility on the trail but still want stability on the highway. The lighter frame and redesigned swing arm contribute to better handling, while the revised geometry provides a balance between road comfort and off-road capability. Suspension travel is generous, with around 230 mm up front and 215 mm at the rear, giving you a lot of cushion for rough terrain. The suspension setup is adjustable, allowing riders to fine-tune damping and preload to match their load or terrain. Combine that with BMW's optional dynamic ESA, the electronic suspension adjustment system, and you can switch between comfort and sportier setups at the press of a button. On the braking side, the bike comes equipped with dual front discs and BMW's ABS Pro system, which is lean sensitive, meaning it adapts braking power depending on your lean angle. This gives you a lot more control when cornering on twisty mountain roads or unpredictable surfaces. The dynamic traction control also plays its part, managing wheel spin in both on-road and off-road situations. Now let's talk about design, because the F 900 GS looks like it means business. This is arguably one of the most aggressive-looking middleweight GS models BMW has ever built. The front end has been completely redesigned, slimmer, taller, more modern, and very adventure-oriented. Gone is the old asymmetrical headlight, in its place is a sharp LED setup that looks futuristic and functional. The bike feels tall and commanding with a pronounced tank and a sleek tail section that gives it a more rally-style stance. The ergonomics are all about control and comfort. The wide handlebar, upright seating position, and narrow midsection make it easy to stand up when riding off-road and comfortable when sitting down for long highway stretches. Seat height sits at about 870 mm, which might be tall for some riders, but BMW offers optional lower seats or suspension kits to make it more accessible. The pegs are positioned for versatility, high enough for ground clearance but wide and comfortable enough for touring. BMW hasn't held back on the technology side either. You get the familiar 6.5-inch full-color TFT display with BMW Motorrad connectivity. This display is crystal clear and gives you all the data you need at speed, revs, fuel range, temperature, ride mode, and more, and you can pair it with your smartphone for navigation, music, and calls. It's intuitive, functional, and integrates seamlessly with BMW's handlebar-mounted controls. Speaking of ride modes, the F 900 GS comes with standard road and rain modes, but you can unlock additional ones like Enduro and Dynamic Pro. Each mode adjusts throttle response, traction control, and ABS sensitivity to suit your riding environment. This adaptability is what makes the GS so practical. You can commute during the week, tour on the weekend, and explore trails when the urge strikes. A standout feature is how BMW has engineered the F 900 GS for both comfort and capability. The seat is firm but supportive for long rides. The windscreen provides solid protection at highway speeds, and the bodywork channels airflow efficiently to reduce fatigue on long days. Even details like the foot peg rubber inserts and the adjustable clutch and brake levers show BMW's focus on rider comfort. From a practical standpoint, you get a 14.5-liter fuel tank, which should give you a range of around 350 kilometers depending on how you ride. Fuel efficiency is estimated at around 4.4 liters per 100 kilometers, not bad for an adventure bike with over 100 horsepower. The exhaust note has also been reworked for a deeper, more engaging tone, without being overly loud. Let's discuss the price and value. In the US, the 2025 BMW F 900 GS starts around $14,000, but fully loaded models can push closer to $17,000 depending on options and packages. Considering the level of technology, the build quality, and the performance, it's a fair value. In markets like Europe or Asia, pricing will vary, but you can expect it to sit solidly in the premium midweight adventure category, more affordable than a big GS, but offering much of the same DNA. Where the F900 GS really shines is its balance. It's powerful without being intimidating, capable off-road without being unwieldy, and sophisticated without feeling overly complicated. It's the kind of motorcycle that encourages you to explore, one that makes you want to take the long way home, or the dirt road just to see where it goes. If we're comparing it to rivals, think Yamaha Tenere 700, Triumph Tiger 900, and KTM 890 Adventure. Each of those bikes has its strengths, the Tenere's simplicity, the Tiger's comfort, the KTM's aggression, but the BMW brings refinement and all-around usability. It's the one you could ride across a continent and still be comfortable doing the commute on Monday. There are a few considerations though. The tall seat height might be intimidating for shorter riders. The premium parts and electronics mean maintenance costs will likely be higher than on simpler bikes. And while it's lighter than before, it's still not a featherweight. Hardcore off-road riders might prefer something smaller if most of their time is spent on trails. But for most riders, especially those who split their time between pavement and dirt, it's a near-perfect balance. It gives you the confidence to tackle poor roads, gravel, and uneven surfaces while still being comfortable at 120 km per hour on the highway. The combination of performance, safety tech, and long-distance comfort makes it one of the most versatile bikes in its class. And then there's the GS badge, that heritage carries weight. For decades, BMW's GS models have symbolized go-anywhere ability. The F900 GS continues that story in a more manageable package. It's a bike that can take you across countries or just out of the city for a weekend escape, with the same sense of adventure that the GS line is known for. If you're thinking about importing one or getting it locally, make sure to check for local support, spare availability, and test ride it if possible. Sitting on it in person will give you a sense of its height and balance, which, once you get used to, feels surprisingly natural. Thanks for tuning in to BikeBeat. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2025 BMW F900 GS, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you pick this over something like the Tenere or the Tiger? What kind of riding would you use it for? Let's chat down below. Ride safe, stay adventurous, and I'll see you in the next one.